like, yes, there's fear whenever, we're going out into the deep or the unknown, and we don't, and we're really having to put ourselves out there. I think any real meaningful work is going to require us to put ourselves out there. So me getting sober was that launching pad of, okay, this is who I really am.
Hello, fempreneurs. My name is Lindsay Barry. So I connected with today's guest on Instagram. I don't even remember how it happened. I saw something that she had posted, or maybe one of my connections had commented below one of her posts, which brought it up on my feed. Again, the power of Instagram is infinite, and it's such an amazing free tool if you're using it properly. We'll get into that later. But Vanisha is a brave woman. She's overcome some massive things. She alluded to it just right now in her intro. Let's not delay. Let's dive into this episode. I'm so excited for you to learn from her.
Entering into sobriety, so entering into recovery, basically just quitting drinking.
Yeah.
And then deciding, like, making the decision to own that part of my story.
Yeah.
And not want to cover it up or hide from it, or have any kind of shame around it at all. And that was actually, I would say that was the launching pad for me, really embracing who I am. And it also gave me the courage to just like, yes, there's fear whenever, we're going out into the deep or the unknown, and we don't, and we're really having to put ourselves out there. I think any real meaningful work is going to require us to put ourselves out there. So me getting sober was that launching pad of, okay, this is who I really am. And this
Well,
is,
I wish I had like 25 fempreneurs behind me so that it wasn't just me doing this. And I'm just applauding you because, like, holy cow, quitting drinking. Wow, I don't know that I could do that. I am so freaking proud of you and honored to be able to interview you today. And also, I think you're right. A lot of women who go through a big change like that, who they get really quiet about it. And I think it takes some serious lady balls to take others on the journey. And I was doing some research into you back when you booked this interview, and I noticed that that was part of your story. And I noticed that you got some other things. Whether or not you'll bring some of these other things up, I'll leave it up to you. But you're so brave and so courageous. And just, again, the fact that you're willing to take others on the journey and to inspire them and to take whatever they can from your story, like, huge pat on the back for you. You should be so freaking proud of yourself. And again, I'm just honored to have the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
it's always a pleasure.
Sure. So when you decided to start sharing this with other people, take us back to the feelings and then the actions that kind of got you moving in that direction. How did you kind of start, putting stuff on social media? Did you build a website? Like, what were those first steps to you putting it out there that you were doing all these things?
Well, it's sort of, for some of these things that started, it was sort of just like, I didn't even, it wasn't, I didn't have like it wasn't on my vision board. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do this. It just kind of happened. And you touched on something that, when you were saying, like, a lot of people, when they start out and they're shy about talking about it and things like that. Well, I was too. I was terrified of anyone knowing that, I quit drinking because, I was an alcoholic or couldn't handle my alcohol, or whatever it looks like. Right. And so it wasn't, it was when I, things really, then I started into more, like, going into higher gear once I accepted it. I couldn't do anything with a website or with a blog or with speaking openly to other people until I accepted it. Once I accepted it, I I mean, yeah, there was still a little bit of fear and stuff like that there, but I was okay with it. So it made it easier to show up on those different platforms. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so some of those first steps, like I remember, well, for years I had, you know, certain people telling me like, oh, you should, you know, you need to start a website, Vanisha, and you should be, you know, sharing your story and speaking and whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what I would put on a website, like you know, and just and things like that. And same with the book, like, oh, you should write a book and, you know, get your story out there. And you know, it took me 5 years to write my book, and then it took several years leading up to that just to have the courage to start writing. And so this, I think all of these things, especially when it's, you know, they're it's intertwined with our personal lives. We really have to, the groundwork is us working on ourselves. You know what I mean? In order to launch whatever it is that we're going to do. And that was no different for me. I had to do all of that inner work before I could throw myself on the, you know, the website or the blog or the, you know, start writing the book or start the foundation or whatever. I had to be like, I was ready to, you know, take it on. So,
Right.
yeah.
And your book is called Ordinary Courage. I found a podcast with the same name, so that's awesome. I listened to a few episodes, so congrats on all of that. So take us back to that time when you were still in that phase of I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet, I still don't 100% maybe believe in myself enough or whatever that looked like. What happened to get you across the line into I'm going to go out onto social media, I'm going to start a website, I'm going to do more public stuff with this experience that I've found myself in? How did that transition happen? Was it a mentor? Was it a book you read? Was it like, how did you get there?
So for me, it was, and I'm a big believer in this too, but it was other people. Like it was other people that believed in me when I didn't totally believe in myself. And you know, it was a repetition of that, you know, just believing and that believing and believing and just, you know, it was almost like just, you know, when our vehicle's on empty and we got to go fuel up, you know what I mean? And it was,
Yeah.
it was like I was no different. I needed that, you know, consistent, dedicated, those faithful friends that were like, you can do this, Vanisha. Like, you know, this is who you are, and this is your, you know, your mission, and you were made to do, like, just all the things, all the encouragement, all the support, all the belief. And so it was that just over and over and over and over, and then other little things, you know, because you kind of start to, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I would kind of start to look for other signs, like, okay, if I'm really supposed to do this, you know, I need something else. I need another little sign or another little, you know. And then I remember, this is a lot of years ago now, probably a decade, reading a blog post from, oh my gosh, her name just totally fell out of my head. Not Brene Brown, but
Rachel Hollis?
No. So that's my menopausal brain. So just pardon me. It'll come up again later.
Okay, when you remember later, just jump back in.
Yeah, so I read her blog post, and she was totally real. She showed up like 100% just authentic. And I remember reading her blog post, and she talked about, you know, being an alcoholic and having mental health issues and stuff like that. And I had to do like a double take on the blog. Did she actually freaking just write that? Like, you know what I mean? And
like, this is my sign. This is the sign I was looking for.
And right then in that moment, that literally, it was like, you know, when you have those pivotal moments, it's like the defining, like a light switch coming on. And that did something in my heart and my soul, my gut, that I was just like, that's it. I'm like, I was turned on. I was literally turned on. And after that, Like I felt like I could, I could put this shit on my resume.
Yeah.
It didn't, it didn't matter to me anymore. And so that was the catapult that after that, then I just started, I wasn't as afraid anymore. It did something. And I just started saying, yes, 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 to all the opportunities. Yes to the website. Yes to the, blogging. Yes to public speaking. Yeah. And then it just grew and grew and grew. Yeah.
Good for you. Oh man. And are you talking about the 5-second rule lady, the blonde lady?
Mel,
Mel
Mel,
Robbins?
yeah, no,
No?
not her. She's awesome.
Okay. Okay. Because I think she had an alcoholism story too, a little bit. I think that was part of her story. So that's why I was thinking of her.
Yeah.
Anyways, it doesn't matter who it was, but the cool thing is that if she was able to do that for you, you've now done that for how many people? Because you stepped out and shared your story, because you put your story online and let random whoever needed to find it. And that's so powerful. So thank you for doing that.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah.
Wow, good for you. And you're a mom. You have how many kids?
I have 4 adult children. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 grandchildren. Congratulations. So that must keep you busy as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Although I'm pretty busy with the foundation and things like that, so I don't have as much, they call me Mudgy, so I don't have as much Mudgy time as I wish I did, but yeah.
Where's Mudgy? Where does that come from?
Well, several years ago, my oldest daughter was living with me, her and her husband and their 2 kids at the time. And I used to come home from work, and my oldest grandson, Boaz, because Carissa obviously would call me, hey, mama, like, mom's home kind of thing, right? And one day I came home from work, and Boaz was like, hey, mama, kind of thing. And Carissa was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And we were laughing. And she's like, no, that's Mama G. You know what I mean? And then he couldn't obviously say Mama G, Mama Grandma kind of thing. And he was just like, oh, Mudgy. And it just, yeah. So I'm Mudgy. Yeah.
Oh, I like it. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Did you know that the best way to help other fempreneurs find this podcast is by following or subscribing? If you love these weekly doses of marketing power, guess what? Other fempreneurs are going to love them too, and you have the power to help them find this podcast. Thank you so much for helping us empower more women to build their dream businesses. All right, let's get back to today's episode.
Wow. Okay, so talk about the foundation. When did you start it? Why did you start it? What are you doing with that? How can we support that?
So the foundation started in 2015. And again, that was through my own personal experience, my personal journey. Like I mentioned, I have 4 kids. So my second oldest daughter at the time, she was a teenager at the time. And long story short, she ended up on the street, addiction, addicted to fentanyl, meth. It was horrible, like homeless. I thought she was going to die, basically. And this was back in a time, like we're getting a lot better now when it comes to talking about addiction and mental health and these issues. But back then we weren't so much. And especially parents that have children or youth, young adults that are struggling with addiction. It's like this shameful thing, obviously I must be a bad parent if this is happening to my child. And that's not true. And so that's how I started the foundation. It started with the run, just to raise awareness for youth addiction awareness, right? And to let other parents know that you're not alone, and there is hope. And this is it is an issue, and it does impact families and parents and youth and all of it. And so that's how the foundation started. And today, almost 10 years later, we are a federally registered charity, and we service all over Calgary. We work with multiple treatment centers, professionals, anyone that's impacted with addiction and mental health. anywhere from 16 years of age to 65 years of age. And we do, it's called activity-based recovery therapy program. And essentially what that is, we take the 3 disciplines of triathlon, swimming, biking, and running. And we put people through a 12-week program with these, using an activity-based therapy, and help them, recover and overcome and believe in themselves. And
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. What's the foundation called?
Terminator Foundation.
Terminator. Okay, so I was on that Instagram account too, so I have seen that. Wow, that's fantastic. So, and I noticed that you're a triathlon coach. So do you also do like some private coaching as a triathlon coach, or is that purely through the foundation?
Totally through the foundation. Yeah.
Nice.
There's much better coaches in the organization now than me, and so I've kind of, I'll still train, and obviously I love being with we call them athletes. I love being with our athletes, but yeah, I'm busy doing more other things. So yeah.
Okay. And you yourself you've completed triathlons? Like I noticed that you did a post recently, something about like running is your therapy, and you've become a big runner. Tell us about that and how that's worked into your life and helped you.
Yeah, I started running over 16 years ago. And at the time I was still married, my kids were littler. And I didn't know how to run when I started. I couldn't run. It was embarrassing. And so, yeah, I started running. And about 5 months later, my marriage collapsed, fell apart. That's where the book comes in, the Ordinary Courage book. I tell that story in there. And running literally saved my life. Yeah, if I hadn't been running, so it's been a constant companion for me in my life that has, so just, the science behind it and everything is amazing. And just, I literally run for my mental, everything in between my ears.
So do you gather together groups of people ever and do runs where you like help other people get into it? Is that kind of something that you do either for fun or as an organized thing, or?
I have in the past. I have in the past done that. And now with Terminator, like the foundation, we work with people that are, we help them, teach them to run. We teach them to do all those things, run, swim, and bike. And so we also, on our website, we have a Learn to Run guide that's on there for anyone that's interested. Part of the organization now, we also have our annual Youth Addiction Awareness Run that happens every September. And
So you have that like a big fundraising event once a year, and that's in September?
That one is, yeah. We have
Do you have other fundraising events throughout the year?
Yeah, we do. Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, we actually have a brand new fundraiser that's coming out. It's in June. It's on June 28th. And it's called Judgment Day, and we're doing a big paintball extravaganza. So you know how other how other organizations will do the golf tournaments and stuff like that. Well, we're going to shoot people, so
yeah.
So we're doing the paintball, so that's what we're doing too.
Nice.
Just we're pretty excited about it. So we have that in June, on June 28th, and then in the summer we have another fundraiser that's happening. It's called Concert in the Country for all you first responders out there.
Wow.
That's going to be more of an exclusive fundraiser with the first responders, and all the proceeds are going to Terminator. And then, we have our big annual run in September.
And when is the concert in the country?
That is in August 19th. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll link to the Terminator Foundation website in the show notes for sure.
Okay.
Are you looking for volunteers? Are you looking for support in any way that you can maybe just talk about right now in case someone listening is able to help out?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we definitely will be needing some volunteers for the event in June and as well August and September as well. So yeah, definitely always looking for volunteers. We're looking for silent auction items that can be brought to the Terminator office. If you have any ideas for silent auction items, please just reach out to me or the info@terminatorfoundation.com. And we are also looking for corporations that would like to put a team together for the paintball extravaganza in June. So
I think a YYC Fempreneurs team would kick some ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do too. I do too. A
Yeah.
bunch of women.
We'll get like,
Yeah.
maybe we can get purple jumpsuits, you know, with our Fempreneur purple.
Yeah.
Or not jumpsuits, what do you call them? Like coveralls?
Yeah, no,
Full
good.
coverage.
Dude.
Okay, well, this is very exciting. Well, okay, so Laura will be editing this podcast episode, and she will get in touch with you to make sure that we have all 3 of those events on our website, on our events calendar.
Okay.
And yeah, again, in the show notes, you'll find a link to your website. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for being a brave woman, for being willing to put some of your most painful stuff out there into the world in hopes that it will help others. And no doubt you've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people through their stuff because of your courage. What else can we leave fempreneurs with? Oh, one question I would like to ask is, you've been in this game for more than 10 years, but you're 10-year younger self, so you 10 years ago, is there something you would tell her that maybe she could have done a little differently or better or not at all? Would you tell her anything right now?
Yeah, I probably get started sooner. Like just don't wait. And honestly, it's funny that you say that too, because I obviously I can't go back in time. But I feel like, right now I'm having these conversations with my daughters, with both of my adult, young women daughters. They're, 25 and 30 years old, and just, being able to give that to them, obviously, as well as others too. But yeah, just, don't stop. Like, don't let anything hold you up, because and trust yourself, trust your gut, trust your heart, and if 1 or 2 people are seeing something in you and they're saying that to you, it's there. So don't wait. You don't need more confirmation. You don't need, and honestly too, who cares if you fail? Who cares? You get up, you dust yourself off, and you go again. I've failed more times than I can count. I've messed up. I've not done the best job. I've not had all my ducks in a row. So what?
Right. We can only get better at this stuff, right?
Yes.
And failing up is a thing. Like, failing up is totally a thing in business. We always improve when we learn from our mistakes. So if we don't make mistakes, it means we're not trying. It means we're not doing the hard stuff we need to do to impact lives. So thank you again for being brave and for sharing that message with fempreneurs.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to let you get on with your day. Again, thank you for taking the time. This has been so powerful. Definitely going to connect with you in the near future to get involved in some way in at least one of these events, if not more than one. I'm so excited. I've been looking for something like this. So you definitely landed in my world for a reason at the right time. So thank you so much. We'll be speaking soon, hopefully over a non-alcoholic beer on a patio. Yours will be non-alcoholic, mine will not.
That's good. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Vanisha. Have a great day.
You too. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Fempreneurs. This is Laura, producer of the Fempreneurs Marketing Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to hang out with Lindsay and I and learn more about marketing, head over to FemTeam. We'd love to help you grow your business. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.